Are you hungry?
Give me something good.
Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Görgött. Today we're cooking fish and tomatoes. We're making Pike Perch with a variation of tomatoes. We're gonna make a clear tomato juice, some tomato flakes, and a tomato emulsion. But before we have a look at our board here, as always, if you haven't done so yet, please do me the favor, click the subscribe button and check the bell icon so that you get notifications. But now let's have a look at the board. First of all, we have our fish. That's Pike Perch, a local Swiss one. We need some salt for that. We have our clear tomato juice, our tomato flakes, and what will be the emulsion. So that's the kind of tomato puree, some egg yolks, a bit of vinegar, and some neutral oil. And we'll probably add a bit of salt to that as well. But first, I'll show you how out of tomatoes you can make these three different things. So the flakes, the kind of puree, and the clear tomato juice. So we have we have a kilo of tomatoes. And we're going to blanch them to get the skin off. And all you have to do is to make like a cross. Take this off. And make a cross here as well. We'll do that on all of them. And the last one. Now behind us there on the stove we have a pot of boiling water. We're going to put them in, and once you see the skin starting to kind of crack, take them out, put them in really cold water. Best is ice water, but I don't have enough ice. I have really cold water. And we're going to do them in 2 batches, so 8 and 8. I'm not going to film that separately. I'll just show you that I put them in. And then we wait. We have to look at them and take them as soon as they start to crack. I would guess around 30 seconds. So they've started to crack. We'll take them now. Since I don't have ice water, I'm going to put some more really cold water on this. We've done all our tomatoes. Now we just have to peel them. And while we're doing this, we're going to actually use the peel. You see I have a griddle here. I have one of these, what do you call it, dehumidifiers, basically a drying box. If you don't have that, you can also do it in a normal oven on 60 degrees. And we're just going to dry the skin and then make tomato flakes out of it. We have a full tray. It's enough for what we need. You can leave the skin on the rest, it doesn't matter. We're doing the clear tomato juice. So we put these in now in the dehumidifier at 60 degrees until they're done. It will probably take somewhere between, 4 to 6 hours. But just check that they need to be so that you can make flakes out of them afterwards, like crush them. So let's get that done. Let's get these in a bowl, and then we'll continue from there. Our tomatoes are in the bowl. Now comes the messy part. You want to break them with your hand, crush them. I'll show you. I'm keeping my hand so that it doesn't go everywhere, but this is basically what you want. I think that's all of them. And now we need to leave them for an hour together with salt and sugar. And the measurement is quite easy. You take the weight of your tomatoes, 1% salt, 0.5% sugar. So if you have 1 kilo of tomatoes, it's 10 grams of salt and 5 grams of sugar. And then you mix that as well. Like that. Now we leave it for an hour, and then we're going to strain it. So it's been an hour. I just wanted to show you these. These are not ready, but this is what's happening to them. You can see how they kind of crumble up and become crunchy. But it's going to take another couple of hours. If you do it in the oven, it will take a bit longer. But just check on them every hour or so, after like maybe 3-4 hours. But that's what they look like.
Let's pass our tomatoes. You can see already this is the clear kind of juice that we're after. And now, don't press them out, just let it run through. I'll just try to show you quickly. It's going to be difficult. Let's grip it in my hand. That's what it looks like. Our tomato juice. Now, if you want this really clear, you can pass it through these like old school coffee filter, or nowadays it's also called V60, you know, for filter coffee. We might do that, but first we can put this to the side, and then we get our tomatoes out. And these we also need, so we're going to mix this up, blitz them, and then we'll have a wonderful paste that we can make the emulsion with. And it's just as easy as this. And after a while, when you get the kind of big bits done, you can just let it run until you don't hear too much resistance anymore. Like that. Now you see it's very liquid, so we need to squeeze this through, or strain it as well in the cloth to get some of the liquid out. But we can't really use that water. You're going to see it's very murky. We'll just pour it in here. And now we can squeeze, because it needs some help. And by the way, this is what I mean with, you can see it there, with the pulp going through, as I said earlier. Because once that starts happening, your juice is not going to be clear anymore. As you can see, it's not super dry. It's a bit drier. And for what we're going to use it for, it's perfectly fine like this. If you want it really dry, you might have to kind of reduce it on the stove. But this is what we need. We have our juice, we have our puree. Just for the fun of it, I thought I'd show you. These are the filters that you can use to make it even clearer, and we'll actually do that. I have one of these. I kind of like the double bag. I've had some experiences where these break, and then the work is for nothing. Obviously spilling a bit is always good. And then basically you just let it stand there. This will take quite a while now, probably half an hour, but we have time. Remember, our skins are still drying to get really crunchy. So let's let that go through, and I'll show you what the tomato juice looks like afterwards. You can see it here. This is what comes out. But it's been about half an hour, so only do it if you have lots of time, because then it's worth it. If you're under pressure, you can just leave it like that. It's nice as well. We will let this go through. In the meanwhile, I'll put this in the fridge, and we continue drying our skins. And once we get back, the skins will be dry, and this will be passed through. And you remember, we put the skin in the dehydrator, and this is what you get afterwards. You can probably hear it here. Yeah, there's a really nice crunch to it. Now we just have to make them small, and the easiest is with a mortar. And now, I mean, this is up to you, but I kind of, for this dish, I want it relatively coarse, so I'm happy with this. So we've done our tomato water, we've done our tomato paste, and we've done our tomato flakes. Pretty amazing what you can do with tomatoes, right? Out of the kind of same batch. This needs to be heated up, our juice. So we'll put that to the side. The flakes are ready, they will just go on top. We will do the emulsion, and then we'll fry the fish. So we'll start with emulsion. Take our egg yolks. About 2 tablespoons of our tomato puree. And the rest, you can make a tomato sauce or something like that for pasta or whatever. Don't throw it away, it keeps a while. And next, a little bit of vinegar. We'll save some, maybe we need to add some vinegar afterwards. A good pinch of salt. And now we need to blitz it. So we'll start with blitzing this mix here. When you blitz that together, we can start adding oil slowly. Just little by little, like when you make a mayonnaise. So you want to kind of work your way up on the consistency. Now this is quite a lot, so if you're just making it for maybe 4 people, I would just use 1 egg yolk. But I'm having some people over later, and this keeps for a while, so I want it a little bit thicker, so a bit more oil. Yeah, perfect consistency. And with the oil, it's really important at the beginning to go slow, but once it's all come together a bit, you can go quite fast with the oil. Now we just need to taste this, make sure it has enough salt and sourness from the vinegar. Quick taste. I'll add a little bit of a little bit of vinegar, and also some more salt. Clean this. And another taste. Perfect. So our emulsion is ready. The tomato flakes are done. The tomato juice is warming up on the stove behind me. We just need to fry the fish now. Our pan is hot. I'm serving this as a starter, so it's quite a small portion of fish. I salted it on the skin side. And we also add a little bit of salt on the meat side. And this doesn't need very long. Maybe around 30-40 seconds per side. And our fish is ready. As you can see here, our fish is already on the plate. But before we plate the rest, if you stuck with me this far, there must have been something you like about this episode. So please do me the favor, click the thumbs up button below. That really helps my videos to get found by the YouTube algorithm. Now let's get on with the emulsion. I put it in it's just a normal plastic bag that I cut the corner out of. It's a bit easier to control. And now for our tomato juice. It never boiled, I just warmed it up a little bit. And what's left are the flakes. And there we have a perfect starter. Let's give it a try. Get a piece here. Now I enjoy skin. But if you don't, you can take the skin off. This is an umami bomb. I mean, all of this talk about umami, Japan, yes, a lot of it comes from there. But we have it here in Europe as well. Tomatoes, anchovies, mushrooms. There's so many things that we have locally that also have umami. And tomatoes is definitely one of them. I think this is a perfect kind of starter. It's light. Although it's kind of an emulsion. And the crispy skin. Make sure that you don't put any of the tomato juice on the skin because it will make it soggy. But it's just a simple starter. It looks quite nice. Feels a bit luxurious because it's a bit different with the white tomato juice. But in the end, it's only 2 ingredients, right? It's the fish and it's tomatoes. Yes, you need some egg and so on for the emulsion, but that's about it. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't done so yet, another reminder, click the subscribe button and check the little bell icon, please. But that's it for this time. See you next time. Bye-bye.